Welcome back. Well, it's no secret that women all over the world have issues, but joining me today is Dr. Angela Basnet from Khosan in Nepal. How are you, Angela?
Namaste, and it's great to be here. Thank you.
Great to have you with us. Now, Angela, your organisation works in partnership with Asian Aid Australia. Tell us why you're here in Australia at the moment.
So I've been here for about 3 weeks, and we've been all around Australia, and we are talking about women's health, which is a major issue in our country. So yeah, for the last 3 weeks, that's what I've been doing.
Okay. Now, when we say women's issues, we're talking about things like uterine prolapse and a number of other issues. Why are those issues more prevalent in Nepal opposed to Australia?
Our country, it's a very conservative country, and it's a male-dominated society. A huge amount of population, they live under poverty line, and the literacy rate is very low. So among all these problems, I think women and children, they are the population that get affected the most. And we are talking about uterine prolapse, and it's one problem that women don't talk about. So the problem is there and it cannot come out. So it's a huge issue in our part of the world.
Yeah. When we talk about uterine prolapse and we're talking about, you know, Nepal and the poverty, I'd imagine not being able to have the money to be able to fix that issue, living in impoverished circumstances. What does that look like for a Nepalese woman to have a uterine prolapse and then have to go about everyday life? What kind of things affect that?
Uterine prolapse, I'll just let you know what uterine prolapse is. It's actually the downward descent of the uterus. So the uterus falls down, and then there are various degrees of uterine prolapse. So depending on the degree, there is discomfort, then ulcer, there is difficulty in passing urine and defecating. So it's not a life-threatening condition. And we've had instances where the ladies have hidden the disease and not talked about it for 30, 40 or even 50 years before they talk to us for the first time.
Does it affect their ability to have children, to have relationships with their husbands, those kinds of things?
Yeah, it does affect the physical relationship they have with their husbands. They can have babies even after they have uterine prolapse. So there are ladies who've been suffering with uterine prolapse, they have babies, and after the baby is born, they have the prolapse again.
How easy is that to fix?
It's a very simple procedure, and very simple things can prevent it, and a very simple procedure can fix it. The only thing is the ladies need to come out and let us know they are suffering from the problem.
Okay. So how is it that you encourage that vulnerability? Culturally, that's something that's very sensitive for them.
It is.
How do you manage that?
So Khosan, we basically focus on 3 aspects of the disease. So our main focus now is on the awareness creation. So we just go out in the village and then talk to everyone about uterine prolapse. So we go to the schools and we educate the young children, you know, who will be the parents in the future, especially the young girls. And early marriage, child marriage is very prevalent in our country. About 40% of the girls, they get married before the age of 18. 90% of the marriages are arranged marriage, so they don't get to choose their husbands. So we try to explain to them that early marriage is harmful and the harmful effect on their body physically, as well as, you know, they are not mentally prepared to start a family. And we talk to them about the safe delivery, the importance of antenatal checkup, and again, the percentage of institutional delivery is very low. So we have only 35% of the ladies who go and actually get an institutional delivery. So
wow,
that's again something we try to encourage them. And the government has done a lot on this. Like they even give ladies incentives when they come to the hospital to deliver. So they get 500 to 1,500 rupees when they come to deliver.
Okay, so they get some financial assistance to be able to get the help that they need.
Yeah. And then we talk to them about the safety measures that should be taken after delivery, because that's one of the major causes of uterine prolapse. So they resume their work immediately after delivery. So we tell them at least 6 weeks rest is required after delivery and not to carry the heavy loads right after delivery.
What about psychologically and emotionally? I mean, we live in a culture here in Australia where we can freely access the medical help that we need. There are a lot of education programs that happen, you know, even within schools or media campaigns, and we can go and speak with a counsellor or a women's health professional.
So it's very difficult for the ladies because they can't talk even to their sisters or their mother or their husbands, you know.
That must be incredibly isolating.
Yeah,
Angela,
so they are isolated. And the other thing that happens in the family is the husband gets another wife. So they live in the in-laws with the husband in the in-laws place, but then the husband leaves them off and goes away with another lady. So that's another burden that bear with them. Yeah.
Do you sense an incredible sadness among those women?
They are very sad, and they are the quality of their life is decreased. And then in Nepal, it's a farming. Most of the population, they are farmers. So the ladies, they are called into each other farms to help each other, and that's how they earn their wages. So once they have prolapse, it's considered an outcast. So they are not called in public places, in the festivals. You know, they are not invited. So they are pretty isolated, and the worst is they can't talk about it with anybody.
That must be extremely difficult, and I'm sure difficult for you, seeing the women in your culture and I guess having that greater awareness of what can be done and that there is help, and yet seeing these women that are so broken. You're here, Angela, for the last 3 weeks and for a little time yet to be able to speak in the universities and have those opportunities to raise awareness within Australia. What can our viewers and what can our country do to help the women of Nepal?
So we've been receiving help from Asian Aid Australia for the last 15 years for the health clinics that we conduct, because the ladies don't come to the clinic in town, you know, they don't come to a doctor. We have to go out to their villages, to their doorsteps to talk to them and then see if they are suffering. So it does require money. So we've been receiving a very good financial help from Asian Aid Australia for the last 15 years.
That's great.
And we are very grateful for that. But our other intention of visiting other countries is to have a one voice for this problem. You know, we want to make everyone aware, because we've been talking in many places and they don't know about the problem. So we just want to let everyone know and have one voice so that we can stand for these women who are suffering alone.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Angela, for being with us today and for sharing. I pray that this one voice that you're wanting to project is projected through this interview and the people that are viewing from home. If you can support Asian Aid and the work of Dr. Angela, please do so. The number is right there on your screen. Angela, thanks for being with us. All the best for the rest of your work and your advocacy here in Australia.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.